Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and we're designingtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to show you how to add a file upload button to your Divi theme site. Divi is an absolutely awesome theme. It's one of my favorites. I've been using it for years now. One thing that's actually missing from it, they've got a great contact form module, but it doesn't have a file upload button. Now, having a file upload button may be a necessity for you on your site. So today we're going to show you how to add one to it. We're going to use a simple free plugin called Contact Form 7, and then we're going to style it to look like a regular Divi form. Really easy to do. Let's take you through it. Okay, so here we have our form. As you can see, we've got a name, email, subject, message field, and you can add whatever fields you want to this. Plus we've added, of course, a choose file option. We can upload a file and you can specify what type of file you want to upload. Let's just fill it out, make sure it's going to work. Put my name. We'll chuck in an email address. Yeah, subject and file. And let's say here, your image. I'll send an image file. Then we can hit the choose file button. Browse to whatever folder. Select whatever image you want to upload. And hit the submit button. And as you can see, it's popped up. Thank you, your message has been sent. Really easy to do, so let's get on it. I'm going to go down to the dashboard. Now to do this today, we need to add a little free plugin called Contact Form 7. So if you go down to your plugins, hit add new plugin. And if we go over here to search plugins, just write Contact Form and a 7 after it. There it is, it's popped up there. I've already got mine installed and activated. Yours won't, so hit the install button. And when that's installed, hit activate. And it's pretty lightweight, so it doesn't take up much space. Once you've done that, you'll have a little entry in your menu over here saying Contact. We go here. It'll have one in there by default. Let's create a new one. So I'm going to say add new. It'll take us to this page. And by default, it puts in a text area. So it says text there. An email field, a subject field, and a message field right there. And you can add whatever you want to right here. And we're going to add a little file upload button to ours. So let's give this form a name. Call it form, my form 2, whatever you want to call yours. Add whatever fields you want to here. I'm just going to add a file upload to mine. So I'm going to go down here and put your cursor where you want to add this field. I want it to be just above my submit button there. And I'm going to click on file. Now it's got a name there, file 224. You can set a file size limit in bytes. I'm going to say 4,500. That'll be like 4.5 megabytes. Obviously set yours to how you want. If you leave the acceptable file types open, they can send you any type of file they want. I'd be careful about that because you can get some malicious files. I'm going to say JPEG and then perhaps .png, portable network graphic, which are 2 image type files. Of course, you can add docx or XL, whatever you want to add to yours. You can give it an ID or a class if you want to. That's entirely up to you. The only thing about this form is you can't actually style the file upload button itself. You can style everything about it, but the actual button itself is going to look pretty standard. But that's okay. Now, if we look down here, it says to attach a file uploaded through this field by mail, you need to insert the corresponding mail tag into the file attachments field on the mail tab. And this is this here, with 2 square brackets there. Inside it says file 24. You don't need the round brackets, you just want the square brackets, file-24. When you're happy, just hit insert tag, and it's popped it in there for us. On the mail tab, if we just roll down, here's where we need to put that square brackets file 224 that we copied. Now also here you can decide where it's going to go to, site admin admin email is fine for me. And it's going to say who it's from, which is me at my email. And subject, wants to put the subject in there. And I'll show you all this when we send this off in a little while. Great. What if we look, all of these little text areas here have got a little label. Your name, your email, your subject. Let's give one to our file upload as well. So I can just copy one of these. And I'll paste it just above this, just give it a bit more space. And let's say upload file. And we want to close it out with a closing label tag. I'm just going to copy that, Control C, just after the square brackets that we got there, same as the rest. And I'll show you in a little while, you can have placeholders instead of actual names on top. But that'll work for me for the time being. Great. Well, let's save this now. Once we save it, it's going to give us a little short code here. Contact Form 7, ID 2238C3. I'm going to copy that. And to get this to show up, we just need to put that short code onto a page. So let's add a new page. Now I'll just call it CF7 for Contact Form 7. Call yours what you wish. And of course, we're going to use a Divi builder. I'm going to build from scratch. I'm just going to put a simple single column in mine. And as we're using a shortcode, I'm going to use a little code module. Inside there, I'm going to paste that little code that we had. Save the changes there. And it's plopped that little form in there. As you can see, we've got our name, email, subject, message, and our file upload button with a little submit button. And that's okay, it's functional, it'll do everything we want, but it really doesn't look very pretty. I want to make mine look more like a Elegant Themes Divi form. So we can do that using a bit of CSS. If we go back to our form we just created just now, my form 2, I'm going to get rid of that other one so I don't get confused. We can add a class name to each of these. Right after it says your name or whatever it is yours says, I'm going to say CLASS for class, colon. I'm going to say MF2 for my form 2. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do the same for all of our text field. Control C to copy, right after the email there. Control V to paste, right after the subject there. Control V to paste. And also in the message field, right here. We'll save our changes here. Now that we've given it those class names, we can style it with some custom CSS. First thing we need to do is save what we've got here and refresh this page as we've added those class names. So I've saved draft. Great. I've still got my builder active. So I'm going to add another code module. And we're going to be using a bit of CSS to do this, to style these. Like I say, a bit more like the Elegant Themes Divi contact form. Okay, now we've actually got our form in place. We're going to style it to look more like a Divi form using a bit of custom CSS. I mean, it's functional, it's going to work, but it really doesn't look too exciting. And don't let the CSS part put you off. It's really easy to do. You can't break your site with CSS. If you don't like something you've done, just simply erase it. The site will go back to how it was. I'm going to take you through it step by step. I will also put any code that I write down below the video if you just want to copy and paste it and modify it to how you want it. But I would encourage you to actually write it out, put it in a code module, inspect elements yourself to find class name. You'll find in a very short time your editing skills are going to go through the roof, and it's a really fun thing to learn. So let's get back to it. So the first thing we've got to do is, as I'm using custom CSS, we need to open some style tags. That's left pointy bracket, the word style, S-T-Y-L-E, the right pointy bracket. Once you put the right one in, it'll put the closing style bracket in there for you. Now, if you want to put this code that we're going to write in your additional CSS panel or your custom CSS box, you do not need the style tags there. And they're the only thing I can't put down below this video for anybody that wants to copy and paste. Okay, so we gave it that class name of MF2. All class names have a dot or a period in front, so there's a dot. MF2, the class name. Now we can open and close some curly brackets and tell it what we want it to look like. Well, I happen to know Elegant Themes Forms uses a background color in their fields of EEE, so I'm going to use that for mine today. I'm going to say background, colon, and hashtag EEE. And it's only done this one, so I think we've got to force these. So I'm going to use the important, which is exclamation mark, important. That's done it. That's got all of them there. Great. Well, I don't particularly want a border around any of them. So I'm going to put a semicolon. I'm going to say border, colon, none. And again, we're going to have to force that because we're overriding the styles. Don't really like to use important unless I have to. This is one of those cases where you have to. That's great. That's taken it away some there. I want to make them a lot wider, or deeper, I should say. So let's give them some padding. Let's say 15 pixels. See how we get on with that. Okay, again, it's done it to the bottom one, but not the others. So you know what we've got to do here. That's better. That's looking more like it. But I want them to take up all of the available width. We've got them in a row, and the row sort of comes out to here. And like that, I want it to take up all of that space. So I'm going to say width 100%. Fantastic. Just what I wanted. Now, if you want to make those slightly curved, I know the Elegance Themes ones have slightly curved borders there, or the Divi ones, I should say. We can use a border radius. Border dash radius. Yeah, let's try about 8 pixels. Obviously, you can make this anything you want. You don't have to copy what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit too much. Let's say 5 pixels. Yeah, I think that'll work. Fantastic. That's looking more like a Divi form for us right there. Great, and we've got our upload file here. Can't do much with that, I'm afraid. That button's going to stay pretty much how it looks right there, but that's okay. But the submit button, we can do a lot more with. Now, I copied that class name when we inspected it just now. So I'm going to drop down after our little curly bracket there. Again, it's a class name, so it has a dot or a period in front of it. There it is. We can open and close some curly brackets with it. And let's have a bit of fun with it. I'm going to make it the same pink as we've got up here. So I've got a little color picker to get that pink color. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to do pretty much the same as I did above there. I'm going to say background, colon. Copy that hex color. Just paste that in there. As you can see, that's turned it pink, but that's not very attractive, really. So I'm going to certainly make it a bit wider and deeper using a bit of padding. So let's say padding. And I think last time I used 10 by 50, which made it a nice big fat button. But again, this is all subjective. You make yours how you wish. So I'm going to give it 10 pixels, top and bottom, and 50 pixels. Yeah, 50 pixels should do it. Left and right. That's looking more like a button. I want to make that writing white, and I don't want a border. So again, I'm going to say border and none. Fantastic. And to make the writing white, I'm just going to say color, colon, white is FFF. So it's hashtag FFF. Fantastic. Wants to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to say font size, perhaps 20 pixels. Font dash size, 20 pixels. That's great. And if you want to, you can change the font family here if you wanted to use a different font, but I'm happy with that. That's fine. And just for fun, I made mine pill shaped, and we can do that with border radius. Border dash radius again. I'm going to give it 50 pixels. That will give it really rounded corners. 50px. We got a pill shape button there. And we can have it change color on hover if you want to. If you watch any of my hover effects videos, I'm sure you know how to do that. I'm going to copy this class name once again with the dot, Control C. I'm going to drop down after this little curly bracket there, paste it in there. With no gap at the end of the T there, I'm going to put a colon and then no gap again and the word hover. Look, we've just created a hover state now. So open and close some more curly brackets. Well, let's just turn it black perhaps on hover. So I'll say background. Black is 000, so it'll be hashtag 000 or whatever color you want to make yours. As you can see, that's turning it black on hover. If you want to slow it down so it's a little bit more graceful, which I usually like to do, we can give it a transition duration. Well, we do that in the regular state, not the hover state. So let's make sure we put a colon, semicolon after our last entry there. Always put a semicolon after your code entries. If you don't, it won't read the next one within the curly brackets. So I'm going to give it a transition, dash duration, colon. Let's maybe give it just over half a second. Let's say 0.6 of a second. 0.6 seconds. Now when I roll over it, it'll be slightly more gradual. There we go. That's going to work for me. If you wanted to push it down a little bit further from your choose file button, you could give it some margin on the top. Margin dash top, colon. Let's give it 20 pixels just for a demo. And that's pushed it down by 20 pixels. Maybe a little bit too much. Let's give it 15. But again, it's entirely up to you. You have yours exactly how you want. Great, so that's looking a lot more like it now. Let's just save this and we'll check if it works. And also I want to style the message that pops up. So I'm going to save my changes there. I'm going to hit the little purple button. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's exit the Visual Builder. And we'll fill it out. Here's your image. And let's attach a little image. Put that little background one in there. Okay, it's flagged as the upload file is too large. I think I've done something incorrectly right here. I have. Over the limit there, we need to put KB after it. Kilobytes. I failed to do that when I was doing it just now. So let's save this. I'll have to fill out that form again, I imagine. We'll try it. Yeah, no, it's still too large. So I've got to refresh this, unfortunately. We'll fill it out again. Now let's try it. We'll use that same one. Great, that's got it, and it's told us the file name there. Now let's hit our submit button. Fantastic. As you can see, it's popped up with a thank you message there, telling us it's been sent. I'm going to style that to look more like my button here. Now, if you're happy with it, that's fine. Just leave it as it is. Let's just right-click and inspect it. And there's the class name right there if I roll up so you can see what's going on. Fantastic. So I'm going to double-click on it. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to make a note of that over here. Great. Well, we'll come back to that in a second. Let's just make sure this file is actually sent and I received it. And there it is. Great, fantastic. Here's the one I sent at the beginning of the video. Here's the one that we just sent. There's a little file. Name, subject, file upload. Here's your file. And there's the file. Fantastic. So that's working absolutely perfectly. We'll get rid of that. Okay, well, let's style this thing now. Let's re-enable our Divi builder. We'll go down to our code module. Just below here, if you can't find it or can't get to it because they don't take up much real estate, you can hit your little purple button. Go to wireframe mode, which is kind of back-end mode. And there's our little code module there. There's the one with the short code for the form, and underneath is the one that actually got our CSS in it. I think I'm going to cheat here a little bit. I roll down there. I've got my class name over here, which is response output. drop down one. It's a class name again. Paste it in there. We'll close some curly brackets again. I think I'm just going to copy over the styles on my button there to see how we get on. Here's this button styles. I'm going to pop that in there. And from memory, it was left align. I just want to align that text center. So I'm going to add text dash align colon center. And hopefully that should be same thing. Don't need a transition duration. I don't need the margin top. So I think there was enough space between it and the button. Font size, border radius, color, border none. Because it had that crazy border on it. I think we'll have to make that important because we're overwriting a style. And we'll test it out in a minute. It's okay to click on the prompt to fill it out. Padding should be okay, and background should be okay. We've got to force that padding too from memory. So I'm going to put that on the end of that. Let's save that, see how we get on. Save draft, publish if you're ready. And we'll exit the Visual Builder. We'll fill it out one more time. Yeah, we'll choose a file. Let's choose a different file this time. Great. We'll hit our submit. And there it is. It's popped up. Similar styles to our button there. And that works for me. Like I say, if you don't want to change that, that's absolutely fine. Great. Everything's just like I want it. Now, the only other thing you might want to do, you might want to have, instead of the names above, you might want to have them as what they call placeholders. So they're actually inside the fields there. And to do that, if we go back to our contact form here, right at the end, just before the square bracket, we can say placeholder, placeholder. Then we can open and close some inverted commas, and we can give it whatever name we want there, which would be your name. And we'll do the same for the other fields. Change them out as we go along. Subject. And message. And I'll leave the upload file as it is because it doesn't have anywhere for a placeholder. Now we've done that, we can actually take the labels away, which is the name, your name. Take the closing ones away. Like I say, I'm going to leave it on that last one. We will make sure we take away the closing labels right there. That should be it. Should be good to go. Save the changes. Now, if we go back over here and refresh, we should lose the titles there, or the names on the top, and it should be inside as placeholders. And there we have it. Fantastic. So there you go, guys. There's how to add a contact form with a file upload button to your Divi site. Really easy to do, as you can see. I know it took me a little bit of time to do it, but I put all that code down below and you can change it and edit it how you want. But it is a great idea to get into the habit of doing it yourself, inspecting elements, getting the class names, and just filling out the code that you want to put in there. Excellent. Well, there we have it. As you can see, we've got a form there with a functioning upload file button. And as you've seen, I sent it off. I've received the email and it's got the file attachment, just what the doctor ordered. Really easy to do. Like I say, Contact Form 7 is absolutely free. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's always great to hear from you. Your comments below are really important to me. They give me ideas for future videos that may help you out. So please comment down there. Like I said just now, it's always great to hear from you. If you've enjoyed this today and found it useful, have a look over here in a moment. I've got a simple CSS playlist that will pop up over there. Might have some stuff on there that will really interest you. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and WebDesignAndTechTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.